Marvel Cosmic Invasion is a beat 'em up with obvious influence from games like the 90s TMNT games or Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage. The developer Tribute Games has worked on several games in this style, most notably their other big success has been the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. If you're a fan of the Marvel Universe, comics, movies, beat 'em ups, or just a millennial who grew up with the 90s animated Marvel series and has some nostalgia, there is probably something here for you. The music in the game is high energy and will keep you in the zone while you're in the middle of the action, but there's nothing so memorable here that you're going to go look it up and download it after you've beat the game. The art style of the game is a 32-bit style with vibrant color palette loaded with callbacks to the 90s animated series, the comics, and even the MCU. The cutscenes look good with zoomed-in, detailed shots, though they're mostly static images with some camera drift to make it feel like the images are moving. The intro is the only truly animated piece, and it does look quite good. It really captures that 90s energy. The levels themselves have quite a lot of references in the background, including shots of J. Jonah Jameson posters, Jeff the Shark in a cage, Nick Fury fighting against AIM agents, and more. The game starts you with 11 heroes to choose from out of the 15 total, giving you a good mixture of fan classics as well as some that are a little off the beaten path. The starting heroes are Captain America, Nova, Storm, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Iron Man, Rocket Raccoon, and She-Hulk. And then for a little bit off the beaten path, you get Beta Ray Bill and Cosmic Ghost Rider. Beta Ray Bill being a hero who mostly is connected to Thor, and Cosmic Ghost Rider is a version of the Punisher Frank Castle who became the Herald of Galactus. By progressing through the story, you'll unlock 4 more heroes. These are Phoenix, Venom, Silver Surfer, and the lesser-known Phyla Vale. For cosmetics, the game gives you 10 extra outfits per hero, with a lot of references loaded into the color schemes. The settings here are all pretty standard fare. The only special callout of note is that they do include some filters to make your game look like it's running on an old CRT if you want that full retro feel. The game offers surprising depth if you want to engage with its systems. Heroes can be broken into 2 main categories when discussing the general combat feel. You have some heroes that move a little slower but are able to block, and others that can move quick and can dodge. I found that typically doing one of each made for a good team composition, and I did find myself using the dodge heroes more and bringing out the slower character when I needed to give my quick hero a break or when chaining together combos. And speaking of combos, the game does have an almost tag fighter-like system of being able to tap a button to call in your backup hero for an assist attack or tag them into the fight outright. Most characters also had some unique attacks as well that require you to either hold a button or hit 2 of your buttons at once, with each hero having 6 or 7 moves to use outside of just mashing your attack combo. With all this together, the flow of combat in the game can just feel really good. I really only had 2 complaints when it came to the game's combat. It was sometimes a little hard to tell if I was in the same lane as an enemy to attack them. The devs have put shadows under the ground of the players and the NPCs, I believe, as a way to try and assist with this. But even so, I still found myself struggling a little at times, which may have just been an issue for me, and I think it happened less as I played the game more. Secondly, I'm not sure the payoff for the characters with blocks was enough. Typically, if you block just before an enemy would hit you, you will trigger a parry, which leaves the enemy in a stunned state for a couple of seconds, which does let you beat on them for some easy damage. But some of the attacks were pretty difficult to find the exact timing on, versus the dodges where it felt like it was a lot safer to just move out of the way of the attack and then get your attacks in anyway. I get the idea was to reward the high risk with a payoff, but I just didn't find the reward worth it most of the time, and so I typically found myself falling back to mostly using the dodge heroes. Again, this might just be a skill issue, but I did want to call it out since if you plan to play this game with anyone younger, I could see it being a frustration point for them, and just maybe keep the younger siblings on the characters like Spider-Man and Rocket Raccoon to help them feel better. One other small addition to the gameplay is that each hero can be leveled up as you use them. They'll gain things like more HP, more special ability meter, a passive ability, and lastly a new color palette. So if you ever find yourself struggling, you can also grind hero levels for some extra support. For the multiplayer, unfortunately it's hard for me to give too much first-hand experience here since none of my friends picked up the game. I can see this being a fun, chaotic time with a full group, but for me personally, I have some younger family members that I think this will make a great family game for. With the holidays coming up, I'm looking forward in particular to trying this out with some of the younger nephews. For the game's difficulty, again, I'm mostly going to be speaking from a single-player experience here, but I did find the game not to be super difficult. There were a couple of times I struggled in the middle of the campaign with a couple of the bosses, but after 3 to 4 tries, I was usually able to beat them and continue on. There are some modifiers for the arcade mode for anyone who's looking for more of a challenge. They have flat-out difficulty slider, as well as an option to change the number of enemies regardless of how many players you're playing with. On top of that, they also have some modifiers that do things like increase enemy health, make them faster, or for some more oddball effects like making it so your health always drains, but hitting an enemy gives you your health back. For the system requirements of this game, there's nothing crazy here. It's by no means a graphics powerhouse, and you should be able to get a decent performance on most devices. My computer far outpaced the listed requirements, but I did see an odd issue where sometimes when tabbing out of the game and tabbing back in, the frames would drop for a while and seem to stutter until I tabbed out and back in again. The disclaimer here is that I do use an AMD GPU, and I know not every game is entirely optimized for them, so that might just have been an issue for me, but it is something that I wanted to call out just for transparency. As far as playtime goes, it only took me 6 hours to beat the campaign for this game, and that was with me retrying some of the levels and trying to hunt down some of the challenges as I was going through. If you're someone who likes to 100% a game, then they do give you some goals to work toward that will extend your playtime. The campaign itself is 16 missions. Each mission has 3 challenges to complete and a hidden cube to find. These all can be spent in the Cosmic Matrix to unlock music, color palettes for your heroes, corpse files for lore, and arcade modifiers. I managed to unlock the majority of these just playing through the campaign, so I suspect it wouldn't be a Herculean task to 100% this game. Otherwise, most of the achievements are just tied to using characters and beating up so many enemies with their special abilities. The cost of this game is $29.99. Right now it's on sale for 10% off, making it $26.99. With games getting more expensive these days, $30 for a fun game with some decent replay value isn't bad in my opinion. If you're only playing this for the story, however, and you don't have any interest in playing the game with other people or achievement hunting, you might be better off just waiting a little while on it to pick it up on sale. Overall, I think the game succeeds in what it sets out to be. It's not trying to be the next forever time sink in your life, it's just a fun beat-em-up that harkens back to my and many other aging millennials' childhoods. The gameplay is fun, the music has good energy, and the writing and voice acting know what they're shooting for with some good comic cheesiness. It really does take me back to playing on my Sega Genesis in the living room with my dad as a kid. If you like Marvel, beat-em-ups, or you just want a game you can play with some younger family members, then I think this is a slam dunk of a game, and I'd recommend you give it a try. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you found this review helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. If you disagree with anything, please feel free to toss a comment. Let me know what your thoughts on the game are. Either way, I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.